Right. Yeah, exactly. That is my nemesis.
What's that?
Gouging. That has been.
Oh, thanks for that. Speaker.
Right above Jacob's ladder. Okay.
Is that behind? I was gonna say, I can watch it.
Okay.
It's really easy. It's like 3 buttons.
Oh, you got it.
So she can take vacation and come.
Yes, she can, and she can be visited, but.
Oh, really? It's so weird. I don't think I've ever done
I knew that actually.
Which part?
I used to run that,
Oh, wow.
4 or 5 times a week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
It's a nice car.
It's a nice car. Very nice. But I can't buy it. Car from year to year.
I think the boss.
You don't want to see it.
Yeah, it's a lovely. This car's about,
I got metal.
he had a replacement.
No, that was a different.
That was the one,
That's
that's the
another
one,
one.
no,
How'd you know about the bike yet? You heard it so much.
it's not. No, the white star is here, they look like a butterfly, like, there's this internal and external sutures. And I was watching the guy do it, and I said, oh, you doing suture? And he said, my grandma taught me so.
Wow. I was on a country road.
Nice.
So the kind of road that you could maybe ride for a mile and see one mailbox, you know what I mean? There's nobody there. And I was just on the right side of the road, you're supposed to be, you know, and I heard a roar, and I looked over, and there was a woman with her hand on her side. And the very next thing I knew, I was in an ambulance going to church. And wow.
He called me right before.
Yeah.
I don't remember you calling me.
And question, collapsed lung, broken ribs, laceration, broken pelvis.
2 places.
Anyway.
I can swallow about it now.
I-
But I'll tell you, when I write now,
I didn't ask you.
Oh, what did you say?
when I write now, I see.
No, it's just that it's-
I remember calling you, I was sitting in the.
So, one of these, no. She's a little, she's a little.
Well, that's why I bought you, because you were on the facility, she loved you.
Yeah. Lake City.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
It
It was a tough time, but it just adds to my resume.
Fell down.
Yeah, felony ice and those. Now, we're talking this is, oh, yeah, she called it, first summer. It was. And then-
I'll tell you, I'm sure if you haven't ridden it like you've seen. This woman, whatever car she drove, I know what car she drove, hit me so hard that it broke into the, you know, the metal part of the.
And I was here on Thursday.
It broke it into. Anyway, that's just.
Yai rai rai, yai rai rai rai, yai rai 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 rai, yai rai rai, yai rai rai, yai rai rai rai, yai rai rai, yai rai rai. Yai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai. Ozi vezimrat ya vayehili lishua. 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 Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good Shabbos. Welcome. I'm so happy to see you all during what has been a week of a lot of change and news. As I'm sure you all saw the emails this morning. If you didn't, we're really excited for Lorelai and for her new professional role, and glad that the Bergs are still going to be sticking around. And I just have to believe that we're going to be okay, because we will. We're going to miss her terribly, and we will be all right. Change and transition is never easy, and that's why I'm always really grateful for constants like Shabbat, because it gives me an anchor, you know what I mean, in a time where things feel a little unmoored. So I'm, as always, grateful for our community and grateful to be together for Shabbat this evening. So we're going to light candles on page 9 if you'd like to join me. And if you're at home, I welcome you, and I invite you to join us in candle lighting and all the things that we're doing here this evening. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. All right. Shabbat calls us to find some joy even when things feel hard, and that's what we're going to do. So if you'll join me on the bottom of page 12 for Romamu. Romamu is like exalt, or like praise, or like find joy, be gleeful. That's what we're looking for. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishachavu l'char kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishachavu l'char kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Adonai Eloheinu v'hishachavu lahar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishachavu lahar kodsho. We're going to continue greeting Shabbat with Lecha Dodi on the next page. Ya la Lecha Dodi, Ya la Lecha Kala, Ya la Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nekavela, Ya la Lecha Dodi. Yalalai krakala, yalalai pnei Shabbat nekavela, shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, hishmi'anu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litchila. Yalalai, yalalai lecha dodi, yalalai likakara, yalalai pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nekavela, likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehila. Yalalai, yalalai lecha dodi, yalalai likakala, yalalai pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nekavela. Hitoreri, kiva orech, kumi uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai, alayich nigla. Yalalai, yalalai lecha dodi, yalalai likakala, yalalai pnei Shabbat nekavela. Vo'i v'shalom, ateret bala. Gam v'simcha u'sohola, toch emunei am segula, bo'hi chala, yalalai, yalalai lecha dodi, yalalai likakala, yalalai pnei Shabbat nekavela. We are going to continue with Chatzi Kaddish on 17. Chatzi Kaddish, our separation prayer between one part of the service and the other, is a string of praise words, and it reminds me that in transition we have to find gratitude, and that's where we are. If you'll join me. Yivkadal v'yikadash shemei Rava, be'alma divarach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, ubizman kariv, ve'imeru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam olal me'omaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yipar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, Vitadar, vitale, vitalao, shemeda kudisha barichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma, ve'imeru, amen. Please rise and join me with Baruch Hu on page 18. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. And our blessing gives us strength and makes our visions clear. And our blessing gives us peace and the courage to dare. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. I invite you to be seated. I'm at the top of page 20. Somewhere at the fringes of night, the shadows of darkness soften and earth comes alive with hints of light. My heart fills with fresh, bright hope as the world stirs to give birth to color. Colors are secrets not seen in the dark, like the promise of God when darkness is visible. Creator, you who bring dawn from the darkness, break the used goblets of my yesterdays. Let me find wisdom in the shards and grow in knowledge of your eternal presence. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Almighty One, who makes the evenings fall. Amen. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu v'shachbenu, Kumeinu nasiach bechukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratacha, Uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayeinu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla, ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Vaed. 22. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשיטך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'eter b'kodesh, nora tehilo dosei fele, nora tehilo dosei fele. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוגי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Will you pray with me in English in the middle of page 26? Help us to lie down, Adonai our God, in peace, and let us rise again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Decree for us a worthy daily lot, and redeem us for the sake of your great name, and enfold us in the wings of your protection, for you are our redeeming guarding. Truly a sovereign, gracious, and compassionate God are you. Guard our going forth each day for life and peace, now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, spreads your canopy of peace over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai hapares sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Amen. We will continue with the Amidah on page 51. I invite you to rise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah Elohei Rachel Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chasei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Chozer Umoshia Umagin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol ata rab lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim berofei cholim. Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, micha mocha ba'al gevurot, umido melech, melech mimit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. I invite you to be seated. We're going to continue celebrating Shabbat with Vishamru, which is on page 55. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beini ubein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Ubayom hashvi Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. I invite you now to find some silence. You can stand, you can sit, you can find the words on following several pages or the prayers of your heart, and we'll join back together in a few moments. Ose shalom bimromav, ase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, ase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Well, friends, what is there not to talk about really this evening? So much has happened this week. The Torah portion is happening, which we're in the throes of Deuteronomy now, so the high holidays are really coming upon us. But I actually want to talk about a news event this week, which is it's not always the way that I would gravitate, but I'm sure that you all saw that this week the person who murdered 7 folks in Pittsburgh was sentenced to death. And as most of you know, I am from Pittsburgh, and this was my community. It's not the synagogue my parents go to, but it is a block and a half from the house that they lived in for 15 years or some kind of math. And people were waiting a long time for the sentencing to be over. I have really I have my own personal philosophy about the death penalty and about the way in which, to me, it seems kind of antithetical to what it means to be Jewish. But you could read the Torah just like everything else in Judaism and say, oh no, actually it says. And so I'm going to let you decide your own feelings about that specific piece. Like, should it exist in this country? Is it appropriate for a government to be, executing its own citizens? You guys have to, that's not what I want to talk about. Because I think a lot of people are feeling, if you're feeling any kind of the way that I'm feeling, which is like, this is my stance on this, but I'm also feeling a little conflicted and a little confused. And also, my father is a legal expert, so I know all the, he's been doing the legal side of this, and he has really showed up for the Jewish community in that way in Pittsburgh, which is really, I keep telling him, a neat thing that he has a specific set of skills to explain very complicated law to those of us who might be more law simpletons like yours truly, and therefore make it understandable. And I'm grateful for that because he's been helping the community that way. But So of course, have very conflicting feelings about this. And as I always say, being Jewish is holding multiple truths at the same time. The one feeling that is not a conflict for me is I am grateful that my neighbors and friends have found like we've hit the end of something. Whatever the outcome, agree, disagree, feel like it was too much, not enough, whatever, and the appeals process, whatever, law stuff aside, the feeling I'm feeling most is relief that these folks don't have to live under the scrutiny that they were living under. That October 27th, 2018 can be a date that we continue to remember, but is not being pushed into their faces every single day. You know, they're not having to testify again. They're not having to tell the stories again. There's healing that can start now in a way that I don't think it could until the end of the legal process in this cycle. And I think if you listen to any of the families talk this week, they said that as much. This has been painful every single day, and it doesn't bring back the fact that their loved one is gone. But it certainly allows them to at least think about the future, maybe for the first time, to take a deep breath. And I felt that collective relief this week. I did. I felt it, even with my conflicting feelings about the way in which God's calling. Even with my conflicting feelings about the sentencing and the punishment itself, I was able to really see that like these families deserve a break and the ability to think about something else for maybe a second, or not even something else, just like to breathe. Yeah, and I've been talking a lot about like embodying prayer and and I felt that relief in my body this week in a way that I didn't expect. Like I felt my shoulders let down a little bit. The ability to mark this horrific event. And at the same time, like this past week, we had we were at the finishing our executive committee meeting at like 9:30, of course. We don't usually run over, but we did happen to this week. There was a lot of events going on. And somebody like drove up through the parking lot and somebody we didn't know, and we were like trying to figure it, and at the same time, being Jewish in this country is being cautious. And that's complicated too. I feel a lot of complicated feelings. But that relief for these families is real. And that's the thing that I've heard from them over and over too has been, we are so glad we can put this piece down, right? Because it's been so raw, and it's all they're talking about and all they're thinking about, and they're in court and they're telling their stories over and over, and months and months and months at a time. 4.5 years later, we can breathe again. One of the most remarkable things that happened right after that time period was the way in which the interfaith community showed up for each other, the way in which partnerships that had been built over years came together all at once and showed, and like the Muslim community showed up and the Hindu community showed up and all the churches around the area, everybody came together. It was a remarkable moment that I will not forget. And one of the reasons, so many reasons to build partnerships and interfaith work, of course, but one of the reasons that I remember that like we need each other. And I was grateful for that reminder this week when I saw some of the statements from the other houses of worship in Pittsburgh. This week also happened to be my bubby's English yard site. We mark her yard site at the end of Av, but this week was the English date. So that was happening at the same time. It's all happening. But I was grateful to take a breath this week. To take a breath and to acknowledge the complication of the feelings and to speak the names of the folks whose lives were taken. Any act of hatred in this is one act of hatred too many. So this week, as I search for gratitude, which is always the thing, I'm grateful that this Shabbat, these families can go to bed with an answer, even if it isn't the answer that I thought or that it felt appropriate or that lined up with my view of the text, or it is the answer that lined up with their view of the text, or whatever. I'm grateful for that this week. Closure, completion, and the ability to hold all of that in one space. Pain, relief, joy, sorrow, all together. I'm also very grateful to be back in our sanctuary. Got to tell you, last week we were roughing it a little bit. So as I say often, God doesn't live here. God lives inside of us, and God lives everywhere. And also, it's nice to be back. Yeah, a lot of relief this week, and a lot of pain, and some endings that bring us to new beginnings. You know that saying, that thing of like, God closed the door, God opens a window? I don't know. I don't like the idea of God having hands, so that doesn't like necessarily work for me. And also, sometimes it's not true. Sometimes it's just, things are just bad, right? It's okay not to find a silver lining. But if you can find even a sliver, that's what I look for. So the sliver this week is those families getting the answers to some of their questions, and the ability to remember their loved ones without having to think about the legal aspects of all of this. So that's what I'm grateful for this Shabbat. I'm wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom, a Shabbat of release and of relief and of peace. Kini Ratzon, may it be. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Speaking of relief, we will turn our thoughts now to the people in our community who are in need of healing, of body and of mind and of spirit. We are thinking this week of Sheila Henkel, Bonnie Morrow-Zachman, Marcia Wengrow, Stephanie Huey, Harriet Silverman, Marcia Singer, Evelyn Bednarsh, Jacqueline Harris, Larry Littman, Ted Golden, Richard and Joe Koski, Mickey Berg, Sharon Burns, and Tom Rutten. If there's anybody else who you are thinking of this evening, I invite you to either stand or raise your hand to share those names in our space. And if you're at home, I invite you to share those names either in the chat or out loud as you're thinking of those folks. Thank you. Thank you. I'm thinking of Suzanne Neerman today. I'm also holding close in my heart as we sing this prayer the families of all those folks who were killed at the Tree of Life Synagogue, and the victims who were those folks who were survivors, and all of the community in Pittsburgh. We join together. I'm on page 67. Misha Beirach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Beirach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Bruce, would you mind sharing some announcements with us?
Shabbat, everyone. We have our sanctuary back.
Yay!
And it really is very, very nice. There's a new feeling inside this. So we urge all of you to come in and see it as soon as you can. Even though we're in the middle of the summer and the children are not here, they're not in school, there's a lot going on at Shir Tikva. This fall, CST will begin a series of activities related to its continuing quest to better understand and act upon important issues of social justice. The sessions are a follow-up to our earlier classes with DJJ Justice. These activities will focus more particularly on the relation between racism and mass incarceration. If you're interested in learning more, check your e-blast and email Lorelei Berg. Final call for Camp Tikva. Spend an amazing weekend with Shir Tikva friends and family at Camp Tikva on the beautiful shores of Lake Huron this August 25th to the 27th. New this year, Camp Tikva sweatshirts are available for purchase. Register for camp and buy sweatshirts at shirtikva.org. Larry Booker's Summer Lunch and Learn series continues on Tuesday at noon in the library. Bring a lunch and a friend. Calling Young Families. Our Young Family Shavuot meets next Sunday, August 13th at Normandy Oaks Splash Pad. Contact Janice Goldsmith if you are interested. Rabbi Arnie and Robert are going to Israel next spring. Check out the trip itinerary at shirtikva.org and consider joining them in Israel. Have you been joining us either in person or virtually for Shabbat services and are interested in membership or religious school? Please contact our Executive Director, Lorelei Berg, at info@shirtikva.org with questions or to learn more. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Also, don't forget, if you want to come to camp just for the day, you can. We have that option.
It's going to be fun. Okay, we are going to turn now to Aleinu, which is on page 74. I invite you all to rise. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. I invite you to be seated just for a moment. I'm on page 76. Hold on to what is good, even if it is a handful of earth. Hold on to what you believe, even if it is a tree which stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it is a long way from here. Hold on to life, even when it is easier letting go. Hold on to my hand, even when I have gone away from you. This evening we are pausing to remember. We're in a period of shloshim for Uncle Suey, my uncle, my dad's uncle, and Lily Ray Dean, aunt of Marilyn and Steve and Hannah and Ken West, Judy Rosenberg, mother of Linda Silverstein, mother-in-law of Michael Silverstein, and grandmother of Eric Silverstein. We're also recalling the yard sites, the anniversary of the deaths of Lucille Crowfoot, mother of Mary Cheswick, Elise Cayley, mother of Terry Cayley, Donna Gibbs, mother of Richard Gibbs, Darlene Santana, sister of Nancy Gross, and Ellen Moeller, sister of Crystal Huey. If there's anybody else you are remembering this evening whose name you'd like to share with us, I invite you to do that. We join together on page 78 and we rise for the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'kadash me'raba ve'alma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol bei Yisrael v'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam u'lemei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitzadar v'yitzaleh v'yitzalel shmei b'kudusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav huya aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved here and everywhere, to which we say amen. We're going to I invite you to be seated one last time as we are going to conclude with Odevo Shalom, which you will find at the top of page 83. Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. I'm wishing everybody a Shabbat of peace, a Shabbat of rest, of calm, and a little time outside, a little nature healing. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Glad you were here. Thanks for jumping in at the last minute. Thank you for your help, Bruce. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. If you see a new friend, make a new friend.